Look to you.
Yes.
I should be good for this. All right, I'm calling the Village of Cross Plains Board of Trustees meeting of August 26, 2024 to order. Roll call, please.
Trustee Bratton,
Here.
trustee Brunner,
Here.
trustee Borkert,
Here.
trustee Borkland.
Here.
Trustee Paul Mikowski,
Here.
trustee Kettlemaker,
Here.
president Langfeld.
Here, please stand for a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're at public comment. This is an opportunity for anyone to address the village board on any issue. Please observe the time limit of 3 minutes. While the village board encourages input from residents, it may not discuss or act on any issue that is not duly noticed on the agenda. You got anybody here for the topic that's on there? Is there anybody on,
Nope.
All right. We'll go to consent agenda. Upon request of any trustee, any item may be removed from the consent agenda for separate consideration under general business. Is there anything that anybody wants to pull from the consent agenda? Hearing none, can I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same. So moved. We're at report of village officers. I don't have anything that's not on the agenda. Vice President?
We just have 4 anniversaries. Matt Esther has completed 1 year of service on August 7th, or did. Jill Hensko completed 1 year of service August 9th. Dane Ziegler has been here 8 years as of August 15th. And Randy Brisk has completed his 19th year of service on August 8th. Congratulations.
Thank you. Other trustee reports? Sarah?
I had gotten some information from Way Forward about specific to Cross Plains, and they said that in the last year, 60 unique households have used their services for a total of 629 times. So I'm going to look at some ways that maybe we can build more of a relationship with them. Even I was thinking of doing some kind of like, when people have extra produce, doing kind of a gathering and taking it over there. I thought that'd be an easy way to give back.
Very good, thank you. Anybody else? Village administrator?
I also do not have anything that isn't on the agenda.
All right. Village department heads? All right. We will go to general business. First one is discussion and possible action regarding a resolution to provide for the sale of approximately $1,015,000 in general obligation promissory note series 2024A. Bobby, you want to?
We have Greg Johnson on the call here from Ellers. So.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'll go through the pre-sale report that's in your packet. Bobby, if you want to advance to the next page, I'll quick talk about the summary of the projects. So this is financing 2024 capital projects. There's street improvements, vehicles, equipment, and then professional services related to village facility improvements. All of the debt service for those projects will be repaid by property taxes, the village's levy for debt service. And then there are some water improvements being financed. The debt service for those projects will be paid by water utility revenues. Next, I'm going to walk through the financial tables that are attached to the executive summary. So table 1 is the summary of the village's existing general obligation debt outstanding. In the far left-hand column is the gross principal and interest payments due on the village's existing general obligation debt. There's also some revenue debt outstanding related to the utilities that is supported by property taxes. And then there's some other expenses in the debt service fund. And then the village budgets revenues from the water utility and the sewer utility in TID District number 3 to support their proportional share of debt service payments. So that net tax levy column, that represents your existing levy for debt service. So in your 2024 budget, your levy for debt service was $993,300. And then we just show how that levy is forecasted based on your existing debt profile. We'll look at the impact of these notes and other future capital projects in a moment. The next table is the capital improvements plan, the summary of the project costs that are being funded. The only projects that you're authorizing this evening are those shown in the 2024 column. So this is the project list that was provided by staff. So you're financing approximately $957,000 of project costs. The remaining years, 2025 through 2028, are just holdovers from previous capital modeling that we've been working on for the village, subject to change and future action by the village board. But we typically like to look at debt issuance in a multi-year context. So we show some proposed new village facilities as well as some ongoing capital outlay projects over the next couple of years. So the model will look at all projects from 2024 to 2028, but you are only authorizing those projects identified in the 2024 column. Table number 3 is the sources and uses for these proposed notes. So again, we show the total capital projects that are being funded by the levy. Some of the projects with a shorter useful life are amortized over 5 years. Others are amortized over 10. And then we have the water projects, so we can allocate that debt to the water utility. So the total amount that you're authorizing is $1,015,000, including the cost of issuance expenses. Table 4 is the estimated debt service allocation. This is taking current interest rates and adding 35 basis points. 1 basis point is 0.01%. So these rates are a little higher than what we're currently seeing in the market. Again, we show the repayment sources. The majority of the debt issue is repaid by the levy. Some of the projects amortized over 5 years, some amortized over 10, and then the water utility projects are amortized over 10 years. So the total estimated principal and interest for the notes is $1,174,236. On table 5 is the long-range tax impact analysis that takes into account existing debt and then also includes the 2024 notes and then those future debt issuances that we've modeled for planning purposes from 2025 through 2028. So on the far left-hand side is the net tax levy that carried forward from the first table. That's just your existing levy for debt already outstanding. Then we show estimated principal and interest payments for financings out through 2028. Show the portion of this note issue that's repaid by the water utility. So then under your debt service levy column, the total net debt service levy, that shows the projected levy for existing and proposed debt going forward. So you'll see that even with all those future capital projects identified, the levy for debt service is projected to increase by about $120,000 per year. Then you'll see in 2030, the levy is projected to decrease. That's kind of leaving room for future debt issuance beyond our planning model. If the village finance projects again in 2029, that would hit the debt service levy in 2030. So we've kind of built in a decrease in that year to account for debt and future capital projects that aren't accounted for already in this model. So then under the taxes column, we show the estimated tax rate on an equalized basis per thousand. So for 2024, you're at $2.01 per thousand. For 2025, you're estimated to be at $1.97 per thousand. So on a $350,000 home, that would be about $690 annually for just debt service. So the impact of that new money is about $112. It's part of that $690 that's built in. And then the final table just shows your projected geo debt capacity analysis on table 6. This is general obligation debt, so it counts towards your statutory debt limit, which means your general obligation principal outstanding cannot exceed 5% of the village's total equalized value. So at the end of 2024, you'd be at about 6.3 million of debt outstanding. That would leave you about 24.4 million of capacity remaining. You're only utilizing, 20% of your geo debt limit. So the village is in a good financial position from borrowing capacity standpoint to undertake the future capital projects that were identified in this plan. So again, just to summarize, you're only authorizing funding of the 2024 capital projects. We are at the beginning stages of the debt issuance process. The resolution that's on your agenda is the first action required by the village board to proceed with the debt issuance. We are scheduled to sell these notes on September 23rd, the date of a regularly scheduled village board meeting. We'll present the final results to the village board for consideration and award that evening, and then the closing is anticipated to occur on October 9th, which is the date that the village will receive its funds for capital projects. So that's the overview of the financing plan. I'll pause here to see if staff has any comments to add. Otherwise, I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Judy?
You might have said it and I didn't hear it. For the rates on table 5, they're just proposed ones. We have not got this up for bids yet, so we don't know if it's gonna be really 5.25 for those yet, do we? We're putting those up for bid, right?
Yeah, so the rates on table 4, so kind of go back a page. So that's what we're estimating for these notes. So that's what we've built in about a 35 basis point cushion. And then what we have in table 5 for everything going forward, 2025 through 2028. Yes, those are just planning models. None of that is being financed at this time.
Are you seeing 5.25 already? You're seeing those high rates?
No, that's for, you don't get.
This is estimated for
2029.
Yeah,
Yeah, go down to
Oh.
2029. They're saying if the rate is at 2029.
Okay,
So
yeah.
you gotta look at the 2024 column.
I was-
Right. Yep, 2024. Right, we're looking at about 3.5 to 3.8%. We've just factored in some higher rates in the future for planning purposes.
Okay, got it. Thank you. I was looking at the wrong column.
Anybody else? Looks like we don't have any other questions. Really appreciate this.
You're
Very
welcome.
helpful.
Yeah, motion to approve the resolution.
All right, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution as presented.
I'll second.
So I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same. All right, very good. We're ready to go. I'll sign it at the end of this meeting or tomorrow if it's ready to go.
Sounds great. Thank you.
All right, I need to sign this, I believe.
Once I print it out, yep.
All right, number 2, discussion and possible action regarding specific implementation plan for Pine Meadows. You guys want to come up to the table?
Can I hit the button on the mic? So that. Thank you.
I'm Patrick Egan with One Design and Engineering. I'm the architect and the building engineer for the project. We're seeking approval of the proposed 7-unit townhome in Pine Meadow Court. Follow up from plan commission meeting, I did have a new photometric plan sent back over to our designer to have the full cutoff lights. I have not received it yet. Okay, when I receive it, I will have it sent to the city here, your city engineer, whomever, and make sure it's fully compliant. So that was a comment from our plan commission.
The plan commission, that was,
Yeah.
what she does.
Yep, I'm taking care of that and requested a new one. Be created with full cutoff lights.
Right, great. Sounds good. All the other on building stuff we're talking about. Yeah, right.
Are there any other questions for the group or what?
Yeah, look, this group, saw before and it was approved. Are there any changes besides possibly the lighting that was made from the last time you brought it here? Just so people know that. And
Correct, from a building standpoint, we have made no changes, size, shape, materials, colors, etc. Sidewise, was there any changes?
No.
Yeah, so it's.
No changes from the second.
Same plan that we had a couple weeks ago. with the planning commission.
all right, does anybody have any questions?
So like I kind of spoken with you about that land. You think you're gonna go with the 4,000 K for the parking lot or the 3,000? You know. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna match what's there. So if it's wider, I was gonna go with 4,000. It's more of a yellow.
yeah, I think,
When I'm down with it,
yeah, okay, I think right now it's like a big high pressure facility.
yeah.
You're gonna say, yeah, yeah, it's a big one called forward. It's too bright, so. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a residence and.
Yeah, certainly the lights that are underneath the front canopies, the ones that are switched in the rear yard. I would make it go with 3,000.
Right.
For those, but maybe 4,000 for a ranch actually. That'll be pretty, that's centrally located in those stalls in this. Look at the back of the park.
Right, yeah,
You know.
no, I get you, I was just, you know, just saying, you know, people there.
Right.
Super white, don't want to know, and like, what's up, what is
Right.
white light now, and
The irrigation.
yeah, so you know what I'm saying, again, I feel like that is really nice, it doesn't. Something to consider, you know.
Yes, I'll need a motion.
I'll make the motion to approve the regarding specific information plan from Pine Meadows.
I'll second that. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Just I'm in favor of this infill, I think it's good for affordable housing and with my good partners.
Is Sonia on it?
She's not. Thought she. Maybe she said she was gonna be late. I don't remember.
All right, that's fine. All right, any other questions? All right. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same. So moved. Thank you very much.
You very much.
Ready to go. All right. Number 3, regarding an ordinance to create a tourism commission and to impose a room tax. I need a motion to go into public hearing.
Make a motion to go into public hearing regarding tourism commission and room tax.
All right, do I have a
I'll
second?
second that.
All right, I have a motion in the second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
We need to do a roll call to go into public hearing.
I don't think so, do you?
That's how I have it set up on my sheet, but
Oh, I didn't think so, but we'll do a roll call then. I thought that was only to go into closed session.
I'm not sure. That's how I have my pre-designed sheet set up. So,
Do it.
Trustee Kettlebaiter,
Yes.
trustee Brandon.
Yes.
Trustee Paul Mikowski,
Yes.
trustee Borkland,
Yes.
trustee Bremer,
Yes.
trustee Hartman. Nope,
Hartman.
that's all. Our law.
Yeah, I didn't
Okay,
get a little
how
bit there.
about Borkard? We haven't done a public hearing for a while. And President Langfeld.
Yeah. let's-
Wow, that was not.
All right, we're in public hearings. Is there anybody on the computer that would like to speak? Nobody?
Nope.
All right, I don't see anybody here. All right, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to close the.
And I'll second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, would you like another roll call or can we just, okay, all in favor, say aye. All opposed, same. All right, we're closed. So now we're in the discussion. We'll take, the first part is the ordinance that you see. And we have a little bit of a problem with it. Gotta think of where that is in here, where it talks about the committee. The commission,
Oh, like how it's gonna be made up? Is that
Yep.
what we were,
where was that?
the representative from the hotel motel industry?
No, there's even more, it's before that even. Well, the bottom line on it, if you read state statute. Those appointments can only be for 1 year. You have it in here where we break it out to one person at 1 year and 24, and then 2 years and 3 years. That goes against, where is that in there?
It's number 3, Jay.
Yeah, the term.
Yeah,
Oh, terms, yes, that's, that has to be. Changed for sure. And then, the second part here is having someone in hotel and motel industry. I tried to find the definition of that in state statute and I could not. I don't know what that means. Who gets included in hotel motel industry? Because I'm the one that's gotta find somebody.
Was there any way that's an entertainment, would it consider any kind of entertainment? I don't know.
It says hotel motel industry.
That'd be someone that works in that
Well,
industry.
I can see, yeah, someone who owns a hotel probably, but we don't have a hotel.
Right.
And this covers B and B, so can it include someone who does a B and B? I mean, that's my only concern, but it clearly says in there that it shall be someone in the hotel and motel industry. I just don't know how broad of a definition, because to me, that could be a caterer,
Right.
that could
that's-
be
see, that kind of
entertainer.
Like
I-
hospitality.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't use that
Right,
word.
right, that's what's strange to me is it's not hospitality.
No, it says.
so the statute says we have to have one from this industry, it just doesn't define what that is.
Right, I mean, I gotta go out and pick somebody, so I gotta know who I'm trying to figure out to
We don't
pick,
have any Airbnbs in town.
not yet.
Have you reached out to any other local?
No, I, that's why I bring this up, we.
You wanna table it till we figure out.
Well, we can, I don't think we have to do, we have to change the terms, because it clearly says in state statute that they're 1-year terms. So everybody's a 1-year term, so that we have to change, that one's an easy one. I'm just asking here, I mean, I can pass this and look into it, because we don't have anybody yet, so it's not like I'm building the commission tomorrow, but I just want people to know that I don't really know what that means and who's eligible to be on there. Now, maybe I could, since town of Middleton has a commission, maybe I can see who they have, and maybe they'd be willing to be on ours too. Because it doesn't have to,
be a resident?
no, it doesn't have to be a
Oh,
resident,
Okay.
no, they don't speak to that at all.
Okay,
It says that I have to appoint and the board has to approve, so that fits
I'm
in.
surprised it doesn't have to be a resident. Don't you think? No.
Well, because I think you can't be too selective on hotel and,
But then I wonder if it would be worth trying to find a resident. Like, what's
Yeah,
the motivation to?
I
try
think
to-
the first thing I gotta do is figure out what that means.
Yeah,
And I'll,
Does a resident work for the hotel motel industry?
right.
yeah, does that count? Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I don't know,
that's-
because 2 things, you might have 4 residents, but one of them's the hotel motel guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
yeah, it might be. I mean, we'll have to check in. I just wanna let everybody know that this is what we're looking at, so when you vote on it. We're all voting on something we really don't know what the definition is. There's some options there, obviously. But I just, for sure, we have to modify the terms. They have to be 1-year terms.
So every year, the whole board's changed?
Could,
They change every year?
yeah. Yeah, and if you read the statute even, the commission, it's very interesting, if you go in with another jurisdiction, it's considered zoned. And then the rules are a little bit more flexible. If you're a single unit, then technically we're supposed to hire somebody in the tourism business. But I figure since we're already paying the chambers, that can be ours. You know, they,
Isn't our relative administrator
Huh?
No, took that title out.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, but anyways, I can work around that part of it. Like I say, this is, the one that really gets me is just knowing, what that encompasses, so I just wanna make sure everybody, knows that I don't know what that is defined in state statute, didn't define it, which is very odd when they use a term like that they don't define it, but I couldn't find it. But that's about it, so, if we could have a motion to, accept the ordinance, to create a tourism commission with the change of numbers, terms of 1 year, then I think we're good.
And I'll make a motion to accept regarding the ordinance to create a tourism commission and impose.
No, the room tax, we haven't got that yet.
Oh,
That's a
you
different,
go?
no,
Okay,
oh, no, that's a different ordinance.
okay,
We combined the two together because they're tied together, but we gotta do one.
just tourism commission
Yep, and just,
with
with
doing the 1 year board members.
term, 1 year term, changing to the 1 year term. You got that?
Mhm.
All right, do I have a second to that?
I'll-
All right. So I have a motion and second, any discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same. Now we're going to the tax one, the room tax, and that is the next one underneath there, the section 7.08 room tax. That looked fine to me. All right, any questions on that one?
I guess I would propose, can we say a start date of this is like January 1?
Sure.
It just helps with reporting, because I gotta do reporting on this now to the state, so.
Yeah. All right, do I have a motion to, accept the room tax ordinance with a start date of January 1st, 2025?
I make a motion to approve the section 7.08 room tax with a start date of January 1st of 2025.
Right, do I have a second?
A second.
We have a motion and a second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, same. So moved, all right. That is all. All right, number 4, regarding an ordinance concerning well operation permits. Do I have a motion to go into public hearing?
Make a motion to go into public hearing concerning the well operation permit for us.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and second, any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Kettlemaker,
Yeah,
trustee Bratton,
Yes.
trustee Paul Mikowski,
Yes.
trustee Borklum,
Yes.
trustee Brenner,
Yes.
trustee Borkart,
Yes.
president Langfeld.
Yes, we are now in public hearing. Would anybody like to speak on this topic? Do you have anybody on there?
Nope.
Nope. All right, not hearing from the public. Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to close the public.
I'll second that.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Close the public hearing. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same. B, discussion and possible action regarding ordinance concerning well operation permits. Gary, do you want to give a quick summary on that? People didn't remember from last month.
Sure, it's, required by the DNR that we monitor, any private wells here in the village. The tested and the results in the village. Presentation to the DNR
Alrighty, so this is trying to get us into compliance to that one section of the permit that we went through, last month.
I'll make a motion that we approve the ordinance to create section 64.16B5 concerning well operating permits. Operation.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All right, I have a motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, same. So moved. All right, number 5, discussion and possible action regarding sick leave policy. There's a memo from Bobby on that, or from department heads. You want to go over it?
Sure. Department heads have been meeting monthly since last year when we were working on the compensation study. So now we're just kind of looking at some benefits, and this is one I think we've brought to the board before. Just asking for the sick leave accrual to essentially be, not have a cap on it when you're still employed, but then when you retire, then that cap of 1440 is, put into place. Elizabeth did a good job of writing up the memo here, saying that we need to remain competitive. And this is just something we can look at to, retain employees. Do you have anything to add, Elizabeth, or anybody back there? We did, poll some other communities, and there are a few other ones that do, no cap for accruing, so we wouldn't be the first or the only.
What communities have that?
I don't remember off the top of my head, but I know I have that.
I think it's majority that do cap.
Majority cap, yes.
I could not find, because this is coming up with some, I couldn't find any jurisdiction that I had a higher amount than what we do.
No.
1440.
I think that was the highest that paid out, or yes.
Right, but
We are.
I couldn't find any that had all that for accrual either. Like I say, I'm
Yeah.
interested to see how they write that up. Do you know, does anybody know the village, or?
I don't remember either the specific villages that did have higher amounts, but I know like Madison, they'll let you accrue during the year beyond their cap, and whatever is left, they'll pay out.
That is true. That is true, they cap it at 1,200, and if you're over 1,200,
Yeah.
you get a payoff, yeah.
So like, we're not asking for the payout portion of it, so the financial burden on the village is pretty negligible. Because like our retirement, the amount is the same. It's really just so that employees are all getting the same benefit, because right now, long-term employees are. I mean, they're not getting a major benefit that everyone else is. Because they're working and should be getting their 8 hours a month, but they're not, because they're already at cap. So like if they get sick, for before retirement, and they're sorted out. For that thing. So that's just sort of even the playing field and make sure everybody is getting the same benefit, since the payout amount doesn't change. Not really financial burden on the position, just goes, maybe we can't match the pay that other communities are doing, but we can offer you better benefits. And so that goes a long way.
Most people that I know do cap, and you're right, most of the ones that I tried to look at was capped more like the 1,200, it wasn't 14, so I felt like we were already capped a lot higher than other ones. And I didn't find anyone that didn't, but you think Madison doesn't?
No, Madison has.
Yeah, okay.
They just, the difference is you don't lose it, it used to be 50% and 75%, and now it's 100%.
We get a payout.
We're
At my,
But we get a payout at the end.
When you retire, well, they get a payout too. for
Yeah,
14.
but I don't think there's.
we're at 12.
Oh, yes.
But
You're at
we're
1,200.
a different employee category.
Oh.
She's certified on support. I was looking it up right now. But I wanna say we're at like right at $1,200.
That's pretty standard.
Yeah. it basically works out if you have that, you can get 6 months of health insurance going forward. And I,
Do they get short-term disability, like if they get hurt, do they get short-term disability after how long?
180 days.
So then this, the 1,400 hours would cover that to get them there, no matter what. If they get hurt.
I think that the problem is when they get hurt right before they're going to retire. That's the problem, because like, they've lost all these hours. Whereas now it just happens that they get hurt and they lose these hours. And now they don't, even though they've lost hours and hours and hours because of the wartime. I just wonder what, like she's saying, what burden would it really be to us?
Well, we don't know until it happens. It could.
Well,
But I mean, like, it's not like every employee is going to have this happen. So I mean, like, the chances that, like, even if someone is, even if we pass this, say Jerry gets this, if he doesn't get sick before he retires, he's not going to really take advantage of this, right? He'll still get the same thing when he retired, and it doesn't change anything. Is that right? Am I understanding this right?
yeah, I think what your example is, would be true.
Yeah.
The intent here, at least my thought on the intent, was, number one, you got a long-term employee. He's accumulated, she has accumulated 1,440 hours. All right, at that point in time, theoretically, each month, they get 8 more hours. But it does them no benefit unless they take off 8 hours each month. In theory. Myself, I used some when I had my heart surgery. Year later, I was back at max. The next time I used some, I gave it to one of Tony's officers, the fear punch. So it's for an oldster like me. I want, the day I retire, I want to cash in 1,440 hours. All right, well, say I had a heart attack 6 months before I was planning to retire. If I had another 500 hours above the 1,440, then I could recover from my heart attack and still retire with the 1,440. Doesn't cost the village any additional expenses to give us this benefit that we proposed.
Well, it does, I mean,
We don't know if it does or doesn't.
yeah, it would, in your example, it would, for example, right? We'd be paying the $500 to you in salary, and then the 1,440 in
But
future insurance, so there is a cost.
if I was a less than current level of dedication employee, each month, I would be taking a sick day.
Mhm.
I mean, I was thinking of that too,
And
like this.
no doctor's report is needed for
Yeah.
1 day of sick leave. So. yeah.
So what, we
Stop
could
it
argue that
right
we're
there.
encouraging people to.
Well, nothing, it's not, but, and that is the biggest argument that people, to be from this side, on say you shouldn't convert sick time into cash for insurance, because now it has this future value. Sick time originally was to build, to use when you're sick. It wasn't technically made to
Since the day
pay
I
for
started
future.
Working here.
What's that?
Since the day I started working here, the benefit we paid out at retirement to purchase insurance.
But I think it was at a lesser rate, if I
I
remember.
was at 960.
Yeah,
The day I started here.
yeah,
Short-term disability does not kick in until
right.
I've been on for 6 months. And that's when I don't remember the year Jan Block was here.
Right, no, I under,
And pushed through the 14.
right, and that makes total sense, but I I'm not buying the argument that there's no cost to it. There is a cost, there's potential is a cost, and there may be no cost, right? It's on how you value what sick leave is supposed to do.
Well, it's
What-
on value your employees.
Well, Jerry, I mean, it's not, no one else that I'm gonna keep asking to see what other place has it. I don't, oh, did you? What is it?
Dock City is unlimited,
Okay.
Leopard Creek is at 2,000 hours is their cap for out, or of approval, sorry. So that is,
So Sun Prairie's at 2,000?
But that's the only one you could find.
in our immediate area, and we're looking at places we are potentially losing employees to. As part of this is recruitment and retention. Like we're looking at.
Well, I don't think we lost anybody to Sauk. In my knowledge,
But yeah,
yeah.
We're just looking at places that are close, so that's close enough in theory, someone.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I mean, the other way to look at it as well is, so then this board would be saying that once you get to 1440, you don't get another sick benefit. So you're actually promoting people to take a day off, and so you're gonna pay any.
I think there's other ways to do that, chief, I think. And I'm not saying 1440 is the right number, it's already gone out from 960 to 1440. I would be open to a compromise or to bumping it up some if we see some other places have done that. I'm open to something like that. I know it used to be in the past, wages were a little less, benefits were great, we've worked hard to bump up the wages, I'm not saying they're perfect. I believe in staff and the work that we do here, I'd like to find a balance, and I don't know if the cap stays 1440, if we did a buyout for 50% of what's accrued over that at the end of each year to give them a little bonus for the extra work, I'm open to something creatively that the employees want. I would like a little more information. I don't want to be the highest in this and then continue to bump up pay. I want to treat our employees extremely fairly. I've worked in private industry my whole life, so I've never had more than 5 personal sick days in a year. And I can't accumulate some. So I want to be fair.
And honestly, I've worked where we can't accumulate either, and I had one fellow employee that called in sick once a month. We don't know what she was doing, but that's her morals, and she's gotta live with herself. You can't call her on it, and then you just know you're gonna be down a person once a month, because they're gonna do it. They gotta live with themselves, and to me, that isn't even that's not good work ethics, and you gotta think about the person you're hiring that does that. Yes.
I'd like to see like a catastrophic leave bank. Cause that's what keeps coming up, that's what's triggering this, right? Can we build up a catastrophic leave bank? Where someone has a broken leg and they can't work for.
The
30 days.
problem is you have to use your hours before you can access.
Yeah.
Typically, you have to go through all of your hours before you can.
Yes.
So then that's the whole point to it, because that's where I thought by not raising, like staying at our current 1440 would save us more money than what they're proposing. Because like what Sun Prairie has, that would cost, that's a definite cost. So,
Yeah,
you know, and
I see what
so-
you're saying. You're saying because insurance kicks in at 180, but the rule is you gotta use all your time. Someone at 2,000, they gotta use the 2,000 up before they can get the wage insurance. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I didn't even think of that. That is a factor.
Is that their rule or can we make ours? Where
No, that's the insurance, it's an insurance company. They're gonna make you burn up. I've never used it, but in Madison, at least the company we did, you had to use all your sick time before wage insurance kicked in.
Well,
You couldn't bank it and just take their money.
And to be fair, like, you know, we're saying like, oh, people are gonna take the 8 hours, it's not even always that. I mean, I think about how before I had my kids, I was making sure I saved every last hour so that I could use that when I'm maternity leave. And I think that's the same thing that they're doing. It's not, whereas like now, if I'm gonna go to like a doctor's appointment, it's not the end of the world to me to use some sick time for that because I'm not saving up for it. But it's the same, like if I was looking at retirement and knew I'm gonna get a payout, you're gonna believe that I'm gonna do everything I can to know how to
absolutely.
use my sick time. But that's what I'm saying. I mean, I think. I don't, I mean.
I think
feel
that's a
like
good
they're
analogy.
Yeah, does that make sense? So I feel like they're. Like, that's a benefit to us, that they're.
Well, I don't.
They're coming in and there's.
What I'm having a hard time is having it unlimited. I mean,
Yeah.
you hit this limit, if I'm correct, in 12 and a half years, at 12 days a year,
Yeah,
right? You're pretty close to hitting it in 12 years.
right.
So you have someone who's been here 30 years,
Well,
they could have 3,000.
But maybe it could be a compromise of like a secondary bank, does that make sense?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think Doug is trying to figure out,
That's what I'm saying.
Right, but like the
catastrophic.
secondary
Yeah.
bank could have a limit, but would not be used for retirement. Does that make sense? Like-
yeah, I mean, yes,
So it would be
absolutely.
like, we would be willing to do another 1,000 hours or something like that, or whatever it ends up being, so that if something happened, at least, I don't know, that's a compromise, I guess.
Yeah, I think I think we can figure this out. For sure, but we just gotta sit down and look at all the angles to it and clearly understand the financial part and what we're really trying to achieve.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the same thing, I don't want to just not do this because no one else is doing it, it might be that other people
But
are.
you also understand that's a great benefit already, what we're giving them is huge.
Well, that's
a great
one
benefit
part
a
of
lot of
what's-
people don't get.
Right, but we also have to remember that other jobs have many other benefits that they don't get either, you know, it's. kind of
Understood,
a-
understood.
So
Yeah.
like, just to be clear, I voted yes on everything from wage increases, benefit increases, all of that. I 100% support our public facilities and our workers. That being said, I think you kind of take, when I'm saying catastrophic leave, I'm saying like someone breaks a leg, it's 6 to 8 weeks. Is there something we can do as a village, or like if the people that are generating all this over 1440, we put that somewhere where they don't necessarily have to tap into their 1,400 hours to give them some help? You know, like, okay, here here's 120 hours of the catastrophic leave because you separated.
And is that an individual account?
Well, that's
Like
what I was thinking.
Like a group
It
account?
would have, no, see, when you get to group, then you really get complicated.
And then you
If
lose
keep-
the benefit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you keep it as an individual and you define it well, then there's probably some potential there.
That's makes more sense to me. I think that would be a better
Yeah,
benefit than you can have up to 1,900.
go ahead.
I think that's basically what we're asking for. We're not asking for the payout at retirement to change, it's just so that you have a buffer above the 1440 if you need to use it, which is what the catastrophic leave balance would be. Right.
Right.
So like, it is the same thing as using different.
I think what I'm hearing is discomfort in unlimited, so then potentially if it was.
Well, not only that, for me, we're calling it sick time. There's other things that are tied to it like that payout. We'd have to go back and put a limit in there, and then you always worry that if it's in that category, some Supreme Court decides all sick leave now gets paid out. Now we have to pay out all of this extra too. I think we have to look at protecting the village finances a little, so I would be more inclined if we had it as a separate account, so it's not tied to, you can earn it the same way, but it's not tied to the sick leave balance. Because the sick leave balance, that could always change depending on.
Maybe give them an extra vacation day. You're really saying, because you're
No,
thinking.
No.
It's like a personal catastrophic leave.
Yeah, I would have it as when you heat this, you now are putting the same type of rules, the sick time, into this bank, but it has different rules than the sick time bank. Because the sick time bank, we have it already where when they retire, that gets converted to paying insurance. I want to make sure there's separation, and all of a sudden we don't have to do $3,000, 3,000 hours worth. I'm trying to design it where there's clear separation, so something changes in the sick leave part of it, it's not attacking this, or just not, I mean, it's the risk that you take. If it looks like a duck, sounds like a duck, looks like a duck, it's a duck, you know, but I think there's might be something here, and that's kind of where I'm hearing Cody go, and I think Sarah's looking at. Yeah. Let's, well, what do you wanna do with this?
Would any of the employees have any interest in, payout after? They're at the 1440. Have over, they worked all year, using another 6 times, like they can get a 50% payout. Well, it's
Well, we
It's not a
were
couple
able to-
ways with retaining quality people and. if they were not getting-
Yeah, no, I mean, I think they would,
So
I'm guessing they would be more.
I would
than
love that,
happy.
yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Well, I'd like to know and understand.
but if we're doing something like that, we clearly have to do. Financial analysis on it, because I'm pretty sure you can tap out at 12.5. Well, maybe that's for 1,200, so it might take a little bit longer, but whatever it takes, anybody over like 13, 14 years would now be paying basically a week's worth of salary, you know. So that's a financial thing that we'd have to work out. I mean, if you're talking about 20 employees, that's a chunk of change that you're paying out to half your employees, where the others, there's only so much to go around. I mean, that's an idea, but I think we have to really look at that and see what the cost would be. While the other ones is just salary, that you're losing productivity, but you're not losing finance.
Well, I think we still want people to use their sick days when they need to use, because then you can run into the other issue, like, I
That's,
mean, again, like I showed up to work when I should have stayed at home.
yes, you're right.
So,
In fairness, we didn't even look at the cash payout. I think if I told all my employees they would want cash payout, there's not chances of them building 1440 next to none. I think we were looking at it for longevity. Continue to grow the village, retain employees, so if they get to 1440, they don't feel like, well, I'm losing my sick days. So, or I don't feel well, because let's face it, some of us have been working for a long time, and you still come to work, if you want to feel quite 100%. And whereas now, if you're at 1440, you're like, no, I'll just take the thing, because I'm not losing it. So it's very much like our personal days. Right, you don't use it throughout the year, you lose it, and that, we've had employees that happens. So that's what we're looking at, not really the cash payout, because we knew that would have a financial burden.
Well, what do we want to do with this? I don't think we're ready to put something together tonight. Where do you want this to go? Or how do you want to do a subgroup from here to look at this, or what?
I feel like it needs more brainstorming.
Oh, absolutely.
and more proposals, but it seems like. I mean, I feel like they've gotten together, so we need to change the group.
Oh, no, I'm just,
More of a different.
you think finance should take this?
I'll make one motion then.
Well, no, I'm asking.
Well, because.
I think what's gonna happen is we need to change the title of the finance committee, cause they're looking at all these things that aren't fine. Like, there's a financial part, but this is more of an HR, you know what I
Oh,
mean?
you think this is more HR than finance?
We don't have an HR, you know what I mean?
No,
Like,
no, but
that's what I mean, like, we just. Whatever, sure.
no. Well, let's,
We'll let
Well,
Carly figure.
yeah, why don't we send the first assignment for,
Yeah.
yeah, why don't we send it to finance and let's just bounce it off of the people there and see what they think.
Okay.
I mean, I'd like to.
Because I think there is a cost analysis clearly ties to this. I mean, especially if you're talking about a potential payout, that is clearly a financial payout. I think even not having a cap on the sick time, it gets up to 3,000. I think there's a financial part of that.
Well, yeah, I mean, the financial part is just anything above the 1440 that if they're allowed to retain at any time, like what you said, if something happens to them when they're out right before retirement, you know, they don't use those 200 hours because they bank them right there. That's the financial impact. There's those 200 hours that they took. whether or not we wish for the people to retain the 1440 hours as a benefit when they retire, if they've accrued them, or if the sick leave is really just a sick leave bank in case you get sick, functioning as an emergency rather than as a retirement benefit, which is how I think it's being constructed. Staff is looking at it as this is a retirement benefit 1440. Once I get this, I don't want to lose it. But it's basically the way I'm interpreting it, because if I get sick right before that, then I don't have this 1440. But I've been working for the last 5 years and not gaining anything, so why do I get to lose this retirement benefit? Well, I'm not even losing it, you still have the benefit, it's just that you've maxed it out. I mean, it's just whether or not. It just depends how you look at it, how you wanna rotate it, I mean, it's a benefit, it's not a wage. Is
I think we should send it, let's have finance and we can look at all these. All right. So, I guess can someone make a motion to refer item 5 to, finance?
I'll make a motion to refer item 5.
Second.
All right, I have a motion, a second, any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same. So moved. All right, we're at discussion and possible action regarding the 2025 capital improvement project. We'll take one at a time. Again, this is just preliminary approval. We will do all the capital as one come November, December. So we'll do number A, Village Hall, Police Station, building construction. Does anybody need any discussion on this, or does everybody pretty clear on what we're looking to do there?
what did you just say about November, December?
That's when we go through and approve all the funds.
Oh,
That's when you do the final, everything here is preliminary.
So this is for the CIP, not the budget.
Right. Okay.
oh,
So
It,
tonight we're approving things on the CIP.
which end up in the budget.
Well, so then I will put them in the budget and then you will have a chance to vote on the budget.
oh, okay.
So it's still preliminary. You'll have another crack at it. It's a preliminary. So Village Hall Police Station, does anybody have any questions on that? Like I say, we're moving. We should have construction documents, by the end of the year or early next year, so hopefully so. This should be in the 2025 budget.
I have a few
Sure.
questions with this. One was like reading it, with the USDA loan
Yep.
that's with this, is that capped at $5 million?
Yes.
So anything.
Well, it's.
If you
capped
go
that we
over
want.
5, there's a whole bunch of extra reporting and stuff, so our plan is to keep that at 5 million. Otherwise, there's like a 2-year,
Backlog.
no, like it takes them that long to like go through all your plans and approve it, like it's a super long approval time, so if you keep it at under the 5 million, it's a lot quicker.
Okay, for the approved, so. Anything above 5 million is gonna go on a geo borrow at a 20-year bond.
Or we get a grant.
10-year, or
Yeah.
however it's gonna be funded or what have you.
Yeah.
Okay, and refresh my memory on that loan. It goes out, it's 40 years. Is it a supplemented interest rate?
Yes.
At some level, do you know about what that is off the top of your head?
2 point,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's, let's put it, it's probably at 60% of market rate.
Okay, so like what you said, it was under
I think the
3.
last I saw it was under.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna take like 2.75.
Yeah, but it's changing, yeah.
Okay.
Every quarter it changes.
And I
Okay,
think rates are coming down.
Yeah, rates are supposed to come down next month.
right. So then my secondary was, you had said at one point that this interest rate adjusts also if it goes down. Is that correct?
Only goes down, yes, it will not go up.
Right.
But if you are at 5, so the people who, let's say, had it at 5 and now it's going down to 2.8, they go down to 2.8. That was my understanding.
Okay.
But if it's at 3 and the rates go to 5, we don't go up to 5, but if the rates go down to 5, we go down to 5.
Right. totally get that. How often is the adjustment possibility? That was, like you said, it changes every quarter, like, do they go every month? They go, oh, this. month's a little bit-
That would have
I thought when
been,
we actually finalized it, we were locked in, that the rate adjustments were just in the.
on the conference call that I was with the USDA, and I was only with one, with Brian, because he kind of ran with that. I tried to keep.
Yeah, I'm not an expert by the name.
That was what I was told, that, and I don't know how they adjust it every 5 years, every 1 year, I don't know. But if the rates go down, then they'll bring your rate down, they don't go up. But I have no idea what
What the criteria is.
yeah, I don't know what if it's 5 years, 10 years, 15, every 5 years, every 10 years, I don't know.
I don't know, I mean, I understand this, but I'm hesitant to approve it. I mean, we don't know what it's going up for bid and what the actual cost is.
So this is just a CIP plan, this is not the budget, so all this is saying is, we'll put this out there, and anyone wanting to know what we're planning to do in the next 5 years, they'll be like, oh, they're building a new building, this is the estimated cost, like, this isn't approving an amount. It's just putting a plan, this is a plan.
In your understanding, with like anything, if you prove this, you're approving the 5 million that's tied to it. So if it comes in higher, you're not approving, you're not doing a blank check of saying Village Hall Police Station.
Right, I understand.
Okay.
that. If it comes in above that, it's going to come back for another.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. What's your other question?
No, I think those
Oh.
those were it. It was,
All
whether or not it was capped at 5 million, how often the interest rate would adjust, because you had said that was sometimes.
I know it's capped at 500 for the reasons Bobby said, I couldn't tell you
Just
how it's adjusted.
Yeah, because over a 5-year period, interest rates could go down, and come back up, and if
Oh.
you miss the valley, then.
I'm just happy that they'll let you go down. Usually when you lock in, and you gotta refinance, so to me, that I don't see. That to me is icing on a cake. I'm sure most people with mortgages would love to have something like that. If rates go down, they automatically go down for their mortgage.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's not, I don't see any negative in that at all.
So we're just approving the line item, so.
Yeah, so do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve this line item A for the village police station building construction CIP.
All right, do I have do I have a
I
second?
second.
All right, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed? All right. Flood mitigation projects, I thought we went over that last meeting, it's a $300,000 grant, and we have a $29,000 matching. I'm pretty sure we approved this last year, so I'm not really sure how that all works. It's coming back, but this is for the flood mitigation north of County Highway P. 14 acres that we have.
I'll make a motion that we approve the flood mitigation project.
Second.
And repeat.
Yep. Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, same. See, the annual street resurfacing, this is one of those reoccurring every year.
We don't know what street though, no.
Not on this one. We just approved the one for 2024 last month.
Lewis Street,
Huh?
isn't that Lewis Street?
Lewis Street, yeah,
And American.
yeah. So this one, they kind of will look at that next year. So do I have a motion?
I motion to approve the annual street resurfacing project.
I'll second.
All right, a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, same. So moved. D, public facilities shop HVAC upgrade. You want to give us a little update on that, Jared?
This is
Well, so that resulted in a focus on energy study where the, focus on energy gentleman noted, air gap under a walk-through door. He reported it to the sustainability committee. Sustainability committee said fix the air gap under the door. I said no, because it's the only fresh air intake into the building when we are working it. Then it was determined that if the building's not up to code, we should bring it up to code. Here we are.
So what do we get for that $250,000?
I don't honestly know yet. There'll be, some air handling equipment, there'll be multiple air changes. I think he said per hour. In the shop area when we're working in there.
Does it replace the actual, your heater? Like the furnace in there, and then they're gonna just put an air exchanger to it? Or,
There'll be air exchangers will be separate units. One of the furnaces will be replaced, we thought. Be a lot of electrical work for control and operate the new system. It's gonna cost 25 to 50,000 just to get the design work done for this. Wow. It's a major deal. It'd be a great place for my son, put that $1,000 grant you got back focus on it.
Chip away a big chunk.
Yeah, okay, that grant's gone, what? So actually saying that with the replacement of an HVAC unit like that, there might be focus on energy rebates for some of this.
Possibly. But it's not gonna cover the cost.
Oh, no, but you might get some expense back though. I mean, if you, I didn't go and look at the page, but they have a commercial thing where you upgrade sector and commercial buildings to a certain level of efficiency, then rebates are offered.
On an income tax return, they'll probably file those.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll make a motion that we approve village shop HVAC upgrade.
Second.
all right, I have a motion and a second, any discussion?
I have one.
Go
You
ahead.
said it'll replace one heater in there, how many heaters are there? Or
There's a total of 3 different units, and they have different purposes. And as part of the. If I understood it correctly, as part of the makeup air tempering system that they would propose. One of the furnaces would be replaced. Be a component and folded into the. Makeup air. Temperature. Addition. But there are a total of 3 in the shop area right now. There's 2 radiant heaters.
Huh?
And 1. Natural gas forced air. That's the one that would essentially be.
Yeah, the reading from state forced air, yeah.
All righty,
Alright, so if this got approved, did you fix the gap under the door then?
Once the work is done, yeah.
all right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same, so moved. E, Westview Park Playground update.
So this has been on the 5-year CIP for a number of years and it just keeps getting pushed back as some of the playgrounds did, but I know that. There were some safety concerns here a month or so ago. They had actually put up like caution tape on it, like things are rusting and it's in bad shape. So. Just again, it's been on the plan. We know it's needed to be replaced, but now it's becoming a safety concern.
I'll make a motion to approve Westview Park playground upgrade.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same. So moved. All right, F, in squad car video camera replacements. Go ahead.
So these systems they're ancient, and so every now and again, the connectivity with our body cameras, they don't sync. And we've had some issues. Those video cameras are the original cameras that you guys bought way before I was here. There was actually a time where IT had talked to, Jansen about replacing them and looking at them. So those are the original cameras. I think they're like 12 years old or something like that. So they're at end of life. We've had to do some work on them already, bringing in Baycom to try to make it work. So the body cameras are obviously a lot faster. They're supposed to work together. They're on a new server that you guys purchased. So this is the last piece. And it's with technology, we'll get it up to place, and then 2, 3, 4 years from now, you're gonna be looking at new body cameras. It's what happens with technology. And so they're old, they're still working. It's just every now and again, we have connection issues. And so the new ones obviously will be a lot better, they'll work. But just like with anything else, we might have a hiccup in brand new ones, so. I'm just looking to improve them. I didn't put them as a number one because, again, I still have them working, but much like our squad cars, I limped those on for 4 years, and I just don't want to end up in a situation where I really needed that squad camera video and I didn't have it, and for 21,000, it's just not that big of a ticket item for what we're getting.
So how many are you buying? How many cameras are you buying?
3.
They're $7,000 a piece now?
Unfortunately,
Installed.
installed, and that.
Yeah. God, I would have swore we replaced them in 2020, but maybe not. These are the originals for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, we've never
Boy,
had
sure seems like,
2020 when I started here.
huh?
2020
was
19.
Yeah, that's right. I thought we approved them at the library when Tom, one of his last meetings there. And Bill was here. But anyways, if I must have been something else I'm thinking of. All right, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve in squad car video cameras.
Second.
And replace. 3 of them.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same. Move D.
It's much the same. Those are those computers. I mean, computers 5, 6 years, you're getting good amounts. We've had to replace at least one where I had to send in and replace the guts of that computer to get it working again. With the two new squads, it makes sense to start looking at that. The problem with all of this is that not only is it the computers, but then they don't make the same docking stations, so you gotta replace the whole thing. These are about going on 9 years. 2 of them have not, knock on wood, have not caused us problems, but one of them has, and to a tune of, $1,000 just to do, the basic repairs. We take care of them. I mean, if we're not using them, they're out of the squad car, safe. We try to keep them safe. They hold a lot of information, and in reality, if I was asked which one would you approve first, I would say this over the squad camera. This is what dispatches us. I mean, this gives us all the information we need. These have to be working. The old fashioned way of using the radio, we still do that, but we rely on a lot on the notes that are sent to us, that are generated, even automatic. So when we've gone to a call, they're already built in. So if we know that we're going to this specific place and we've been there 3-4 times, it's already built into the computer system to tell us, hey, just be on alert, there's guns there, there's whatever. So these are lifeline type things, this computers have to be working. So I'm just trying to get ahead of it. We've got a couple new squads there, September 4th, just as an update, September 4th, we're building our 2 squads finally. We've been on the waiting list all year for those squad cars. So they anticipate I'll have them by the end of September. By the time I get everything transferred over, it'll probably be closer to November and everything, but at least they're coming, because there's some places that they didn't get filled for this year, so. So it'll be a cost into next year. It'd be great if we would have had this for this year, but, I didn't even try to request that last year because I really needed the spot cars to go for all of those.
So
You go first.
you're saying you're gonna get the cars in September, have the old computers installed in the new squads?
Unfortunately, yeah, we'll need that to do that.
Is there any way we can order these now and have it be done?
So I was just at a Chiefs conference and Baycom is willing to do that, but. And they've done that in the past where they sent us new stuff and then they just bill us next year, but there's a whole. Kind of an MOU and try to understand that we're gonna definitely pay for them at the turn of the year. But they will do something like that. They just didn't say they didn't say 100%.
We just approved taking money from our fund balance to pay off capital. Why wouldn't we just go buy them now and put them in?
Yeah,
I mean, if we're gonna take the 50 grand or whatever the amount is, well, I can't even remember, but it's 16,000 for this. That's the money we should be using that we approve to cut down capital. That makes
Yeah.
sense, and it can be done at any time. So
That would be my question.
I think these should be taken off and dealt with right now. It doesn't make any sense to pay to put them in and then 3 months later pay to put
So
another
then
one.
you need to consider the same thing with the
Cameras.
cameras.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
Because the cameras are the same situation.
Right.
So I have a good relationship with Baycom. I think they will give us the equipment ahead of purchase, but again, I'm not guaranteed anything.
Could you work a deal with them where you say, we'll buy these computers to put in, give us the.
Okay, you're gonna have to back up here. I don't understand, I understand the cameras just mount on a frame.
Right.
It's nothing like a computer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's usually just unscrewing a bolt.
Right, but it's
So-
still, again, there's some connectivity things that need to happen, and so, I mean, you still are going to, you would put certain cameras on the new squads, you're gonna have to take those off, doesn't mean they're gonna fit for fit. I mean, they're different cameras, different.
If it's a different
settings,
camera
different-
system. Could use different
They're
cords,
using the
wires.
same ones I saw in there. It's the same that they have.
I mean, I don't care how you guys do it, cause honestly, I would go to Baycom and see if they could just send me everything now and bill us later.
I just have to, I don't remember what the 6% equal dollar wise. What is it?
It was $206,000, which we took off the amount we approved this at earlier.
yeah, we just did approve the bonds, cause the.
So it should have been 1.2, it should have been $200,000 more.
Oh,
But I
gotcha.
already lowered it.
Cause I think you took it off of the architecture plan, 'cause that was in 200.
That, and then there were other small purchases.
I was trying to figure out if you took it off, and I was like, okay, sure.
So all the like little purchases we didn't borrow for, and then I took some off the architect fees. However, there's that $50,000 cushion built in that we could purchase these 2 things with, and then however things, flow through, we can always borrow that money back next year if we need to, but
Alright, that sounds.
I guess I'm comfortable purchasing these this year.
Yeah.
So it's 37 grand, right? I'm looking at the 21 and the 16. I think there's the count. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
30, so 37, 38. So let's just say 40,000. Alright, I think that's what we should probably do.
Right, I think if we're buying these new cars, let's just install this stuff once, put the new stuff in, make sure it's all working rather than in
Appreciate it.
and out thing that to me doesn't make any sense.
Totally makes sense.
I didn't even install these things before.
And I guess if the squads don't come in until later next year, then we wait.
Yes, then I will let you know. I'll I'll let Bobby know if there's
If
some
they get
kind of
pushed.
stall or they get pushed back and, because we wouldn't even be borrowing the money, like, for the squads. Until we.
Yeah, we are.
Get it.
We're-
So,
No, that's going out.
Yeah.
The money's, it's being borrowed, now we might not spend it, but I guess the key is, these things don't get put in and paid for until we have the right squads.
So that includes all the equipment, so I get squads and once I know I'm getting them, then I order the stuff. We don't even get it, it goes right to the place that. it's
Right,
at.
right.
So then that's the same thing I would do with that's. They just now it's.
You go to the radio shop yet, or you go
I
somewhere
order
different?
Gencom,
Oh,
out of Pittsburgh, they do all that.
okay.
So then. I mean, I don't think it. When you do that, would that place be installing these computers in that, or would Baycom be installing? it?
There's some that Baycom installs because of software stuff.
Okay,
And there's some that Gencom install, they do the actual physical installation, and then the rest is the making it.
So some does the hardware, some does the
Stuff,
software.
Yeah.
but they know how to work with each other, when they're building it and all this stuff has to go in and all that.
When we did the 2021, that's when I went to Gencom, it just was easier to get into our place that does the graphic designs right next door, it just worked better.
Do they charge more than the radio shop?
No. It just was easier to get into.
Can we sell our gold factors?
Yep, and then that goes back to the general fund.
I have a friend that wants to buy them.
Go to auction,
It's gotta go to auction.
It does.
yeah, yeah,
I don't know why you even want an old car.
and I don't know either. All right, so I guess, do we have a motion on the table for
No.
that?
No.
All right.
Would that
We
have
have
to
a-
change the previous?
No, we're just approving these on the capital, how it gets paid will be part of the budget process.
But do we want to authorize purchase of all this, or do we need a separate? Cause he's saying these things come in September, these cars could be here in September, we wanna make sure all this stuff gets all.
I think to be comfortable, I'd say, if everything works out the way I was told, October we'd be buying.
I think we have to put, because this is really noticed as a capital improvement project. We're just approving the project, so I think we approve it, and then what we can do at the September meeting, make the motion. Use the funds from this year to
Okay.
purchase them this year.
As long as the squats come.
Yeah, tied to the squads coming, I think that's the cleanest way,
I guess then why are we approving it?
because we're still agreeing that we're gonna buy these. What we're gonna approve in September is where the funds are coming from. Yeah, and you're right, I mean, we're just gonna pull something off the 2025, pay for it early, but I don't want it not on here. And then the squads come in
Okay.
later, and now we don't have,
So it'll be on the CIP, it won't be on the budget.
Sounds good.
right. Right, so do I have a motion? I think I'm at that point, right? I need a
Yeah.
motion?
So I'll make a motion to approve the mobile data computers for SWAT cars for the CIP.
All right, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All right, I have a motion and a second, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same, all right. All right. H,
This is just a real ask, so we tend to have a lot of complaints on traffic. Some of them are not real traffic complaints, people believe that people are speeding when they're not. So we're wasting a lot of resources, and I don't have a lot of resources. But even better, these specific ones, so these will do traffic, they'll collect data, not collect plates and stuff like that, it just collect during, from 2 to 4, it's speeders are on this street, or from 6 to whatever. But these also, they're bigger, they also produce a wording, so let's say like for trout days, we would be able to put up the sign and say, parade route, slow down, we'd be able to do some wording to educate the public that we have something going on within the community. Or if we have like trees are down and we have public facilities working on something, we could move, they're mobile. They go on poles, we put it up and just say, slow down, what, I think there's 18 18 inches, I think.
Oh, what, 18 inches?
Yeah.
No, they're like,
He's got fish stories going on.
Yeah.
Inches.
I was curious since you said it can say all that, well, how big is
It's, no, they're 15 inches. 15 inches, the display is 15 inches.
That's small, that's like the slowdown.
So how it's tall.
The dimensions of it are,
The city.
and these were the middle ones, they had smaller ones. I think the smaller ones were.
So like the one, there's that one on.
They won't be
It's
able
like
to read it.
it's like the one coming at the top.
Like on Airport Road, yeah, it's like Sunset.
They all
That's
have
posted on, that's on a post?
On Sunset Ridge. By your.
Yeah,
Sunset
that,
Ridge,
just
yeah.
that little thing?
Yeah, it says
But,
slow
I mean,
down.
they're very bright.
Well, I know they're bright, but that's on a trailer?
No, it's not a trailer, it's just a sign, so you just move the sign to a post.
To a post? You
Yeah.
attach it to a
Yeah,
post?
and it-
So you already have a post, you can move
And
it.
it has battery and it's also solar operated, so it has both. It's just very much similar to the one on Springfield Road.
Oh, okay. And it's almost $9,000?
There are two
Two.
of them.
There's two, yeah, they're both. They also have come with a light sequence to, you can turn on the light sequence to make it look red and blue, so it looks.
Oh, I
like
hate
it's
that when you go
car.
into
I
Cobb.
mean, those are options that are on there, just in case we do have something major going on, then we want people to really slow. It just help over traffic control.
And who installs these?
We would be moving them around. So they're not that hard to move around. Mount Horeb is the one who put me, they have these.
You take a ladder out there and it has like a belt strap on it, and then you
Stuff.
put the solar on there and aim it the right way.
So. Officer Taylor Finkerson will get them. You want to know.
Boy. I don't know. Are there can't we get DOT grants? I mean, trailers, you can get grants for trailers
We're
and.
trying to get grants through the bots and those kind of things, but they're.
I don't have a problem putting it on there, but it would also be the first thing that I would.
Cut during the budget discussion.
For one, I don't think it meets our definition of a capital item, to be honest with you. 4,000, 4,500. I don't see that. I see that more as supply but I'm not gonna. It just seems like to me that there's other avenues to pay for this than to borrow.
I like the thought of the trailers a lot more. And that they're getting a little more creative with what they can do with those,
Yeah.
as far as putting messaging to the public out.
Well, that's what I thought, exactly, that's what I thought this was, because I do believe it's nice for having a trailer to do the speed thing.
Yeah.
But a lot of them are now used for special events where you can put messages and
Yeah.
if we had a road that was flooded, you could put road closed ahead, you know.
Fort Atkinson had one out when I was there. It was announcing like village hall or a village.
Yeah.
meeting.
I mean, that to me, and now I'm sure price has gone up, but 5 years ago, I got one that you could do everything for like $6,700. You know, you gotta charge them obviously, but now I'm guessing they probably make them solar too. And you don't like that design?
I don't, honestly, this was a request from my staff. I said I would ask. That's because we're getting a lot of traffic.
No, and I hear that, and we need to, so would it be, I guess I would ask if we could just. And I'm gonna probably vote no, because I want to postpone, I wanna see what the cost of a trailer one would be. Cause I think it has more options for us. And like I say, I think it's gonna be harder than what people think to mount those things. Especially if you have solar panels, which I bet you are gonna be like this, I would think.
Is that
You're-
something that public safety committee could?
Yeah, maybe they could look at, yeah, maybe we should,
Like the different.
yeah, was this presented to them? And they looked at other options
And
and
then
then,
look at other options.
do you mind if we refer this back there and have them take a look at what the trailer were and the possibilities of that.
Do you want me to bring this back to this,
Yeah,
to you guys next month? I did
You want
fine.
that or October is fine. I mean, we're not gonna vote on final one until probably November, December.
I was just asking, you still want to keep it in capital, because you're gonna be submitting that capital? You want-
Well, if it becomes a trailer, then I think it definitely fits, cause that's one item at 8, it's on, you know, it's. Those things usually last 10 years. You gotta replace the batteries, but the LED lights and
And just, so you know,
the
that's
trailer itself.
that's what you had before, was the trailer.
Yes,
It's not.
You don't have that anymore?
It's in there, but it's not operational, it's missing numbers.
Oh, okay.
It's really.
And that was all bought by, private,
Donation.
World Fair, and I thought the Lions, is it their Lions?
Local donation.
It was all 7 donors from World's Fair.
Okay, and that's, you know, that to me seems more appropriate on that, that's a service project.
So Jay just said he's gonna organize another World's Fair.
I think Judy wants to. She likes to
No,
party.
I'm both, so they're meant to move around.
I was like,
Much like a trailer, I mean, a trailer moves around. We had it, when I first started, we had it set on a schedule, but then it just, the numbers wouldn't pop up and it wasn't working. And we changed the batteries, we tried to do all kinds of things, it's just, it's really, I mean.
yeah, that one's very old.
It's like probably 2 decades old. We still have it, it's still there, but it doesn't work. And so the trailer would be easier to move around.
Well, that's what I was
We have hitches to move them around. So the staff asked me to put this on,
Yeah,
so
no.
that's why I asked.
No, I think it's a great option, I just would like to,
I was just trying to understand, like, if they're mobile, they want a pole, so you're gonna put them on like a power pole, are you allowed to do that, or are you going to go out there and drive a pole on the ground, you know, like?
Kind of pull them. I mean, they're, like I said, in Mount Horeb, they have multiple that they move around, where they can go around.
I think they put them on street poles. So that's the only thing we control, you're not,
Like a stop sign or whatever?
no.
No,
So you get a street.
The signs, the ones that say signs, you know, like,
Michael Avenue.
yeah,
Street sign.
Oh,
or 25 miles an hour. Full, so signs that we own.
okay, so it'd be like on a speed limit sign somewhere, you could mount it to that even, like that
Yeah.
small.
me personally, I would prefer the trailer. Easier to-
Well, that's what I was kind of wondering about.
That's all.
I just think it's more versatile too.
Less likely for a workplace injury.
You
Nice
can,
that you said that, because now I can tell my staff that that's what we want me to look at.
well, we wanna look at the options. I think it's great that they're thinking about safety, but there's a couple of options that are out there.
Okay. I will refer to the public safety.
Well, we'll, can we make a motion?
I make a motion to refer this to the Public Safety Committee.
All right, I got a motion and a second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Is it okay to say that the consensus of the board was trailers seem to be more versatile?
Well,
Yeah.
I guess I wanna compare the two, I don't wanna say I'm going, if the trailers are now up to 25,000,
Right.
Yeah.
I don't, like I say, I'm going back, 5 years where we bought one for 6,700 and I got a grant for 75% of it from DOT. It's a lot cheaper than them flying a plane.
I'll go buy an indoor-outdoor TV mounted to a trailer with a radar gun or a mannequin.
Cody's gonna build the trailer.
All right, let's get back focused here. We're on the last one. The ambulance replacement, and just so you know, on there it says 192. It'll actually be, if I can get the chief to do the numbers, it's 160. 162.
Where do you see that? What do you 300 we do?
Yeah.
Okay, so the 388 is the cost of the ambulance and the cot. The cot is $59,000. I know, so we are using capital fund to pay for that, so you take 59,000 off of that, and it comes down to around 325,000. So now we have a total of like 74,000 left, because we had 134 in the capital fund balance. So now you take another 50,000 and you take it off, the 325, it gets you to 275. Somehow when they did the numbers, our population went down and our percentage is now 58.4%. So you take 58.4% of the 275, I think 104, and it gets you down to 160. So that's what our portion will be. So does that make sense to everybody? That's kind of how it should, and I'm trying to get the chief to put it in the minutes. I've sent it to Bobby already. Yes,
So you're saying that 59,000 is where she wrote the association donation fund balance, that's where that's coming from?
it's not association, it's, okay, no, there's,
No.
what the association, okay, the association was willing to buy the cot, so we would have the money. Cause they're not gonna do the ambulance, they gotta order the cot at like a year ahead. So they had to order the cot, we didn't have the money for the cot, so they said they would loan us the 69,000 or 59,000 to buy the cot.
They need another comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
that's
not a
what-
donation, it was gonna be a no interest loan
The
for us.
way it's
Okay.
written.
Yeah,
Let's see where it's confusing.
it's very, yes,
Thank you.
but I think she's not really
I want to
understanding.
Yeah, yeah, that too,
What's that?
the fund them.
Yeah, I was confused on that.
What, on what?
It-
Where
This will be
the
fun.
Association donation fund balance, like was a fund.
Yeah.
But then I think that.
Yeah, she's not, yeah, she doesn't understand.
Yeah.
It's an actual capital.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a motion to approve 100.
Better than not.
No, just say to purchase.
The new ambulance.
Yeah.
Okay. I make motion to approve the new ambulance.
I'll second.
All right, a motion and a second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right. So now we have discussion and possible action regarding the 2025-2029 capital improvement plan. We've gone through the 2025, so really this is for the rest of it. Is anybody, we're not gonna go item by item because they can change so quickly.
Yeah, it's essentially saying we recognize these items may need to be replaced or whatever in the next, it's
next couple
It's-
years.
not committing anybody to anything, it's just a plan. Things
I
were-
have a question.
Yeah,
All right, go ahead.
I don't see the pool on here. And I mean, I understand that that's like a really big expense and we don't know exactly what year it's gonna land on. But like, you know, we invested some money to have plans, you know, preliminary plans. We have a pool committee talking. It seems weird that it's not on our long-term SIP somewhere.
Well, I think the reason I thought it wasn't on there is they haven't gone far enough along to actually come up with what they think it's going to cost. That's kind of how I took it.
I thought the
There's
two
that
options they had.
collection.
I thought the two options they had were only like a difference of like $1 million. I mean, like, which is a lot of money, but you know, compared between the two, and I mean, we keep saying that the SIP is just kind of showing, you know, that an intention for us to kind of do something, and we don't have to have the numbers ironed out to a T, especially if it's out a little bit. You know, I think we should have it somewhere.
All right. I thought it was more of a range. I didn't think they had it narrowed down to, I thought it was 4 to 6 million.
Couldn't we put,
4 to
Yeah,
6
we're-
million.
well, no, but like, put
Put 6
5
million.
million or
Well,
put 6 million, yeah,
here.
put 6 million, I mean, just. Like, if it is a big project that,
He beat me to that. I would say.
yeah,
Here.
so we have it on the Ellers thing.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
saw, 5 million on L.
yeah,
In 2028.
So we can put, I don't care, put the 5
Put a
million.
placeholder in there.
Yeah, 2028. Oh, yeah, Steve, Julia. Is that all right?
Yeah, I think that's fine. It just, you know, I keep hearing too, you know, the board wants, you know, the Stingrays and stuff to fundraise. You know, I think it would help if we had, you know, if we just show some commitment. And I think this is, you know, showing that a level of commitment we're comfortable with.
Well, I'm not sure everybody would agree that they're comfortable, but I think you're right that it should be on there if we're seriously looking to do that. So I don't have problems, and it will be consistent with the Ellers report. So I think that's important. So I think I'm okay with that. You wanna make a motion to that?
Sure. I would like to make a motion to add the pool to year 2028 for what was the amount in the Ellers report?
5 million.
For 5 million to the 2028 capital improvement plan.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same. All righty. Okay, do I have a motion to accept the SIP, the 2025 to 2029 capital improvement plan?
I'll make the motion to accept the 2025 to 2029 capital improvement.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye, all opposed, same. So moved. All right, 8 is, everybody should receive the base budget and supplemental requests. And we'll be discussing them in September meeting. All right, any future, oh,
Well, I just have a question. This is the operating, but this doesn't have like salaries.
no, that's in October.
Okay. All right, I'm just making sure, so I was looking at it, I was just
Nope, this is the base budget, basically.
like, okay.
Trying to take it in pieces instead of the whole thing. All right, future agenda items, anything? All right, do I have a motion to go into closed session number 1?
I'll make a motion to go in closed session number 1.
I'll second it.
All right, roll call vote, please.
Yep. Trustee Bratton,
Yes.
trustee Borcar,
Yes.
trustee Brunner,
Yeah.
trustee Paul Mikowski, trustee Borklin,
Yes.
trustee Kettlebaiter,
Yes.
president Langfeld.
Yes.
All right,
All
just wait,
right.
I'm not ready.
Okay, all right.
Do, breakout room. Is that right?
But now,
Now we gotta make the motion. I have a motion to go into closed session for number 2.
I'll make a motion to go into third session.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Trustee Bratton,
Yes.
trustee Borcar,
Yes.
trustee Brunner,
Yes.
trustee Paul Mikowski,
Yes.
trustee Borklin. Is he back? No, did I lose him?
I wondered.
I
You look all alone.
looked like we lost.
He's in Netherlands talking
Yeah,
to
right.
himself still.
I vote yes.
I don't know.
We'll just say he left. All right. Trustee Kettlebaiter,
Yes.
president Langfeld.
Yes. All right, we're back in session, open session. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion that we pay the interim administrative person till October 4th.
I'll second that.
All right, I have a motion in the second discussion. All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same. So moved. There we go. Do I have a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
All right. Got a motion to adjourn. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed. So moved. All right, long night, but we got it all done.